Well, you must not believe it. In response to land desertification, China has built a large reservoir in the middle of the desert. However, the United States not only make indiscreet remarks or criticisms at this project and try to stop the project, but even put a lot of negative labels on China. So, what kind of project is this that has made the United States so angry? Why does China insist on completing this project despite so much pressure from the outside world? Hi, everyone. Welcome to Hot Topics Time, a channel to interpret news from a new perspective and explore the wisdom behind the news. Before we start today's video, please subscribe to our channel, which is the encouragement that we can create more videos. Okay, let's continue the topic we are talking about. As we all know, if the problem of land desertification is ignored, it may bring catastrophic consequences such as soil erosion and sharp shrinkage of arable land, which will directly affect the living environment of all of us. What is even more unfortunate is that China is a country with severe desertification. The desertified land area is as high as 2.6116 million square kilometers, accounting for nearly 27% of the country's land area, and this proportion has continued to expand in recent years. So China started to build a desert reservoir to deal with it, but unexpectedly it attracted a lot of criticism from the United States. Why is this? Due to years of drought and little rainfall, the northwest region of China has become a major concentration of land desertification. The loss of cultivated land has also caused many local residents to lose their livelihood security. In order to curb the continued desertification of the region, China has decided to build the largest desert reservoir in Asia, the Hangyanshan Reservoir, in the northeastern part of the Heshi Corridor. Once the reservoir is built, it can not only meet the needs of local people's livelihood, but also take into account the comprehensive improvement of irrigation, desertification, and flood control. However, at that time, this project was not favored because of its huge difficulty. Among the opposition, the most prominent one was the United States. They believe that if China wants to build such a large reservoir in the desert, there will be countless human, material, technological, and other costs behind it, and China does not have such strength. It is true that such a complex and large-scale project is indeed a big challenge to China, but the Americans still underestimate the wisdom and determination of China's infrastructure workers. So, how was this huge reservoir built? China at that time could not provide much heavy construction machinery, and could only mobilize a large number of local people to excavate with hand tools. For the sake of a happy life in the future, the local people brought their own tools and daily food, and built the dam of the reservoir bit by bit with their own hands and sweat. In the end, it took 8 years for the Hangyanshan Reservoir to be fully completed. The completion of this reservoir has completely changed the backward situation of the local area. After the introduction of external water sources and accumulation in the reservoir, the local area has a convenient self-irrigation water source, and the water from the reservoir can be introduced into the farmland for irrigation. In this construction, China invested as many as 240,000 construction personnel to carry out the construction of the reservoir under extremely difficult conditions, and finally overcame various difficulties to build a super-large comprehensive reservoir in the desert area. This also makes us once again lament the greatness of the working people. The construction of such a large-scale reservoir in the desert is one of the few in the world. Although the scale of Hangyanshan Reservoir is not the largest reservoir built in China, it carries the water demand of 250,000 people. The construction of the reservoir not only improves the problem of land desertification, but also improves the livelihood of the surrounding residents. However, in the face of such a reservoir project that can not only alleviate environmental problems, but also bring convenience to residents, the American media began to criticize the project before it was about to be completed. In order to smear China's water conservancy project, they claimed that the construction of the reservoir affected the local ecological balance because of the nonsense that the desert is also a part of nature and cannot be transformed at will. It is a challenge to U.S. power that China has overcome many difficulties to build large water projects that the U.S. could not do. Therefore, they tried to force China to stop work through public opinion pressure, began to claim that the natural environment had been destroyed around the world, and collected a series of so-called evidence, such as a series of natural disasters such as sudden snowfall in tropical Brazil, record-breaking temperature in the continental United States, and flash floods in the Himalayas. In fact, while the United States suppresses dissidents under the banner of environmental protection, it secretly develops weather weapons regardless of whether it damages the environment. As early as the last century, the United States began to secretly develop meteorological weapons, and in the subsequent wars, it also secretly put into actual combat by artificially changing the climate environment so as to achieve the purpose of creating disasters and hitting opponents. On the Vietnam battlefield, the U.S. military has used weather weapons secretly developed by the McKinley Climate Laboratory. Because there are many virgin forests in Vietnam, and the Viet Cong lurking in them caused many casualties to American soldiers, this just became an excellent test environment for weather weapons. A military operation codenamed Popeye was put on the agenda, and the U.S. military subsequently dropped nearly 4.74 million rain bombs over North Vietnam. In a short period of time, man-made precipitation caused floods in many parts of North Vietnam, a large number of construction and farmland were destroyed, and countless people were displaced. Due to the weather, the North Vietnamese guerrillas hiding in the deep mountain rainforest suffered a large-scale non-combat attrition. This climate weapon has brought immeasurable pain to the entire Vietnamese people. It can be seen how ridiculous the United States is to question that Hang Yashin Reservoir, a desert oasis established by China, on the basis of environmental protection issues. At present, all functions of the reservoir are normal after the completion, and auxiliary industries such as tourism and vacation have also been developed. The living of the residents around the reservoir is not only guaranteed, but also the economy has grown to a certain extent. Now China has invested in the construction of water transfer projects in the local area, allowing people to use convenient tap water. The role of the Hang Yashin Reservoir in the local economic development has not been as necessary as before, but this reservoir has become a symbol of Chinese people's hard work. It has been rated as a National Natural Scenic Spot and a National Reservoir Scenic Spot by China, and has also been awarded the title of Pearl of the Desert. Every year, thousands of tourists come to visit and are moved by the hard work spirit of the Chinese people. China's land desertification improvement plan still has a long way to go, but the completion of the Hang Yashin Reservoir is undoubtedly the most solid first step in the long-term plan. Okay, that's all for today. Please put your comments below and share your insightful ideas with other people. Thank you so much for your continuous support. Your precious time with us is highly appreciated. Hot Topics time to explore the wisdom behind the news. We will see you in the next video.